Today, we're diving into something that can secretly stop you dead in your tracks. I'm talking about an internal obstacle that can shut down your progress, your success, even your blessings, and you might not even know it's there.
So let me ask you this right off the bat. What if the one thing holding you back isn't your job, isn't your circumstances, isn't other people, but your own heart? Yeah, that's the question we're really going to dig into today.
All right, so let's get into it. Section 1, the heart's hidden dangers. We're about to see why the state of your heart isn't just important, it's absolutely critical.
And to kick things off, the source material points us to the story of King Saul. I mean, listen to this question God asks him. When you were small in your own eyes, did I not make you king? Wow. Think about that. Saul's blessing came when he was humble, when he saw himself as small. But the moment he started getting a big head, feeling his own status, that's when everything started to unravel. This brings us to a really fascinating idea. The source says that the moment a blessing starts to poison your soul, God might just turn off the tap. And it's not a punishment. It's actually for your own protection. Think about the guy who gets one nice car and suddenly thinks he's better than everyone else. Or the person who can't stop showing off their new watch. In those moments, that blessing is becoming an idol, and God steps in to protect you from yourself. So let's break this down. The material points out two kinds of pride. First, there's just regular old pride. That's simply overestimating yourself. But then there's this other thing called the pride of life. And that's when you start measuring your own worth by what you have, your car, your house, your title. Two different flavors, but they both lead to the exact same dead end. And here's the consequence. This is the real kicker. When pride takes over, your opponent isn't just your boss or your bad luck. No, it says God resists the proud. That means God himself becomes your opposition. And let's be real, that is a fight you are never, ever gonna win. Okay, this brings us to a major crossroads. A tale of two kings, really. We're talking about why blessings can stop. The source presents us with two paths, embodied by Saul and David. Their lives show us exactly why God's favor can either flow freely or just stop cold. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On one side, you have Saul. He got big in his own eyes, always had an excuse, disobeyed. And in the end, he was cut off. Done. But then you have David. Oh, he messed up big time. But the difference was he stayed small in his own eyes. He was quick to say, I was wrong. So he was corrected, but he was always restored. Here's the key takeaway. It wasn't about if they messed up. It was about the posture of their heart when they did. Okay, so if pride is the problem, what's the solution? That's what we're talking about next. Let's dive into the qualities God actually looks for in a person's heart. This right here, this was David's secret weapon. A contrite heart and a broken spirit you cannot despise. The source describes humility as being like a fragrance that God finds absolutely irresistible. It's a posture of the heart that he just can't ignore. It literally draws him in. So what does that kind of heart look like? The material breaks it down into 4 key pillars. Number 1, pursuit. This means you're seeking God for who he is, not just for what you can get from him. Number 2, humility. Simple, right? It's being able to say, I messed up, and accept correction without getting defensive. 3 is obedience. Following instructions even when you don't have the full picture. And finally, number 4, trust. Relying on God's leadership, not just your own smarts or your own hustle. All right, let's talk about how this applies to you, to your gifts, your talents. It's not enough to just have the right heart. You've got to do something with what you've been given. And the perfect illustration for this is the parable of the talents. You've got the servants who took what they were given, invested it, and multiplied it. Their reward? More responsibility. Well done, I will make you ruler over many things. But then you have the one guy who was afraid, so he buried his talent in the ground. And what did the master call him? Wicked and slothful. The message couldn't be clearer. God is invested in you, and he's looking for a return on that investment. So that brings us to a really direct question for all of us. God expects a gain from the gift he gave you. What's he getting? Are you putting your talents to work, or are they just sitting there, buried in the ground? Okay, as we start to land the plane here, let's bring everything we've talked about together into one clear path for the heart. So this is basically your personal checklist, your action plan. First, seek God because of who he is, not just what he can do for you. Next, be quick to repent when you're wrong. Stay humble. Then, actively use what you've got, even if it feels small. Carry yourself with holiness. Don't set your own traps. And always remember, to obey is better than sacrifice. And this quote right here just sums it all up so powerfully. The heart is the heaviest thing God considers. Think about that. It's not just a factor, it's the factor. If your heart is wrong, nothing else can be right. It's the foundation for everything. And we're going to close with this final powerful thought. The source says that God tries the heart before he gives the blessing. So it's not a test you take afterward, it's a prerequisite. And the test isn't about being perfect. It's about having a heart that's teachable, humble, and obedient. Which leaves us all with one last question to really think about. What will he find in yours?